So I'm gonna teach about tree anatomy and what we can tell about the tree life by looking at its rings. First thing, it's the anatomy. Let's start from the outside. The outer bark is just for protection. This inner bark is called phloem, and it's where all the lymphatic vases run, so where the lymph goes around all the plant. The wood here, since around here, it's just a structure wood, while the inner cork, the pit, we could say, it's where the tree stores the supply of carbohydrates, because here you have the lymph going up, which is basically just water and minerals, but then the leaves turn it into elaborate lymph, which is full of carbohydrates also, which gets stored here. And between the inner bark and the wood, the structural wood, you got a thin strip which is called cambium, and it's where actually the cell division happens. It's where the tree grows, right inside here. It's a very thin stripe. Here's another example, and here we can see a different growth pattern. This is the main branch, the main trunk, and this is the secondary branch that grew alongside this portion here. And then by the 8th year we can see that the rings, like the 7th year, the rings are round like this, and then by the 8th year the tree started to fuse, and so we can see that there is bark growing here, attaching the two, connecting the two branches. See here, like that, and also here. And so year by year it fused and amalgamates until it becomes, by the, I think that is the 2022 year, it became one trunk. And this is actually when the tree is at these stages where it's just amalgamating and fusing, this is actually a weak spot for disease to enter. The main things we can tell about looking at the rings are first of all the exposure, where the tree was oriented like. So you see the pit is off center, so the bigger growth pattern is facing south. Then we can tell the good season, how the hot season, how much it lasts. The hot season is the bigger rings, while the cold season is the, let's say, the division, the ones that divides one ring from another. And diseases, you can see disease in a lot of ways, with discoloration, rotten wood, and spots. Spots are the most interesting because they show the compartmentalization that the plant does to not let the disease spread. Like here we can see that he had a pretty long story of fighting with mold in this tree in particular. And I see that because some of the rings, like a good span of the rings actually, are grayish, so it's the sign of mold attacking it. Like in this tree, for example, there are dark spots, which are like the compartmentalization of the tree. So the tree got attacked by a mold, and he was like, I don't want to have any of that, and so basically encapsulated the infection. Like it will be like, in an animal it will be a cyst-like structure. It's basically a dark spot with a very, very dark outer ring. And so we can see the disease, the wood, and also the compartmentalization wood. So in this tree we can see that it was so badly damaged, and that's what's the reason for cutting it. This is a bacterial and fungal infection. The bacteria the bacteria used to do this kind of thing where they break down wood and it just looks rotten, and that's a very big structural damage. So this tree would have probably fallen in like a month, not even that. Like any kind of wind or storm could have made it fall. And it's also fungal, so this is bacterial, but since the bacteria weakened the plant, also fungus came and just had a party basically, because you can see all the fruit, the fruit part of the mushroom, and also all the mold, all this gray mold, and this was definitely damaging that tree. We can see it in the bark, because this should have looked like a birch tree. You see, this is birch, but the whole bark doesn't look like that because of the damage. Like it should have been all like this, all over. But since it was damaged, it had like a deranged growth of the bark. And we can also see here are the, I don't know to call in Italian, they're called fruit bodies of the mushroom, which are the reproductive parts. Here, this is mycelium. I mean, it's poor tree. Didn't have a good life.